Alright guys, how's it going? So today we got some big news in the fish room. We had a hatch about 7 days ago of some pretty awesome plecos. So we're going to show you those, and then not only about the patience to be patient in your fish room, and that means have multiple projects going, so if something doesn't happen you can just kind of move on to the next one and not get discouraged. But also with patience comes, when things happen, to be totally prepared. Alright, let's get going. Alright, so here is the big spawn. Let's see if we can see them in there. There they are swimming around. So there's about 22 of the L134 Plecos in there. That's the, let's see, the leopard frog pleco. So came down one morning and there were a bunch of fry in there with egg sacs. So they're on about day 8. But what I want to talk about is, I've had these in my fish room for about 2 years and just kept feeding them and putting water in, and I literally didn't think they'd be ready for about another 6 or 9 months, but there's a spawn here. So I just wanted to kind of talk about having your prepared foods ready. So when they were spawning, I had time to get this, but I had this on hand. So this is the microworms. But not only for those, I was feeding those to these guys, which are the super red plecos. You can see them kind of all over the place in there. So there's the mama. There's probably about 50 or 60 in there, believe it or not. But they haven't been fed since I fed them about 4 a.m. this morning. So I just want to talk about this. As far as the discus, we're having some issues with the discus. These guys spawned again, and I actually watched the male fertilize. The male is on the right, the female is on the left. And so maybe it's not them, maybe because I took a month off, I just haven't been checking the parameters good enough. And actually I think the water might be a little hard. So I did some testing yesterday and I made some adjustments to the water. So hopefully they'll be ready. So they've had 3 spawns, but I actually watched the male fertilize, but the eggs fungused up. So probably on my end, I just didn't have the water just right. And that's the thing, you want to focus on the fish, obviously, but life gets in the way. So these guys, definitely a male and a female. I've seen them spawning, and he was actually doing his job, and not laying eggs. So these guys will be ready, and then these guys will spawn a couple times, and I think the same things happen. So pretty sure that's a male and that's a female. I know the female's on the right and the male is just questionable. Now this guy got sick right here on the right, so he's been in a salt treatment for the last 7 days, and you can see he still has a little bit of that on the side, but his fins are healed up. He's looking pretty good. And these guys, obviously, I'm not sure if they're a pair, but they're not fighting and they're kind of hanging out, so we'll see if we can get them to pair up. This is a female for sure. I've watched her lay eggs by herself. And so he still has about 3 of those little fungus patches on his side, and then 1 down here. But they're healing up, so we should be good to go on them. So he's going in the right direction. Black rams. These are the ones ready for the store. They are exactly almost 100, right around 100 days old. And then you see my stir-by. I put all the stir-by in here, and there's probably about 15 of those in there right now. Oh, maybe 18. I didn't do a count. And then one of my original spawns of the super red. I got 1. So that was the thing. I was trying to pull the fry, and this is what I came up with, 1. And now that I'm not pulling the fry, I got tanks full of them, so I'm just kind of let them do their things. So these guys are looking really good. These are the biggest of the batch, and they're on an auto feeder, so they get that twice a day. Now it's very micro as far as the auto feeder. There's not a lot of food going in there because I still want to feed them, 2 or 3 times a day myself. So these guys looking good. And then we had a little problem with the male and the female. So the male is actually started beating up the female. So because she's not laying eggs, and she might be done with her cycle, they don't live long, 2 or 3 years. So they're about 1.5 years old, and it took me 10 months to get this spawn out of these guys. So really working hard to you know, watch them and make sure they're not gonna go after each other and kill each other, because these are very hyper aggressive rams. They seem to do better in bigger groups than one-on-one. So I've actually picked out 7 of these guys for me to spawn here. He looks pretty good there, wow. So there's 7, and actually they're taking up residence on their cones and stuff, so they're already splitting up into pairs. And they're ready to breed at this size. You know, hopefully we can get them another month or 2 up, and then they'll be ready, really ready to lay those big spawns. But I also split up another 7 down here. So these guys looking really good. This guy in the back looks pretty amazing. So, you know, I'll kind of pick, and what I'll do is I'll take 2 or 3 of these pairs out of these 14 and then grow the rest out and sell those off as adults. Now this girl over here, I came down and she was not looking good. So she is a little bit tucked up. She seems to be eating frozen foods, but not the dry foods anymore. And so I'm just kind of quarantining her and watching her. I don't think it's, you know, her fins are open, she looks good, but she just wasn't behaving right in the main tank, so I didn't want to introduce anything back into that main tank. So these guys are looking good. They're just starting to pair up. So I think that I can get a few pairs out of these. So you got my strain there, the blue in the front, and then some Heckle crosses, and then some other fish from other wholesalers. So these guys should be pairing up, but I haven't been watching the tank, so they might already be pairing, but they're hungry, they haven't eaten today. And then this girl came into this tank, and hopefully we can get a pair out of that. So it looks like this big one and this one on the bottom right there, they seem to be buddying up a little bit. She's definitely running the tank, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so the female actually went into the fry, the L134s in here, and then so I put her in here because it's the same water conditions. So if I can get her. So she was getting beat up a little bit. She looks pretty good. She's been in here for 7 days. I might try to put her back in, but I'm not in no big hurry because I have, you know, the 60 rams already from her, so I'm going to give her a break. So she looks really good. She got her finnage back, and she was a little picked on. So that's one thing is, you know, you got to be aware of what's going on in those breeding tanks. And when it's just 2 fish, you know, there's no spreading of the aggression. So you want to make sure that you're kind of watching that. So she's kind of just on holiday here. And then I'll probably give her another week in here, fatten her up a little bit, bloodworms and shrimp, and then when I put her back, I'll make sure that I'm here for a half a day so I can watch the interaction between the two, because he was just going after her pretty hard. All right, so down here I have the golds out of the blacks. So this is what's left of those. There's probably about 20 or 30 of those, I haven't counted. So these are the golds, and there's actually a couple nice ones in there that I might pull. I don't know. I'm not in a big hurry to breed those golds. I've just had a lot of you know, space issues here as far as getting fish and fry and everything. So I think I have to focus on the blacks. All right. And then the library tank. So my strain of Guppy. This is my 6th generation, and I pulled out a couple nice ones here. Let me see if I can find them. Oh, they're right there. So this guy right here is kind of what I'm going after, and I finally got a little bit of red in his tail. It's probably my 3rd generation of that fish right there. I want to kind of get some red in it, because you'll see this one here, right here. So this is how it came in, kind of as the gold. But I've actually put a little bit more pattern into the ones I got, so we'll work on those. So I might pull those out, and then I have the Dumbos that I've been working on, trying to get really red into those. And so this one's probably in, you know, that's halfway there. And then this guy right here is a pretty nice one. They're starting to get that red in the top fin. So what I might do is pull out a few trios and put them in these 10s. Here, and here. So we got the king tiger in here. You won't see them, they're kind of hiding, but I'm kind of thinking maybe they might be ready too. So I'm kind of preparing. Now I did buy a bunch of new pleco caves online. They should be here in the next week or so. I spent about $100 on some tighter caves. I think that'll help them, because I noticed in the 134s they spawned in the tight cave. So we got a few of those coming. My Simulus group still haven't spawned yet as far as I know, but like it's just like everything else, I haven't focused on it. So they're starting to get baby brine shrimp as of yesterday, so we'll see how that goes. These guys are looking good. And then this is kind of my mixed tank here. So what I'm going to do is these are all the Gary Lang Bozemanii. So you can see the adult right here. So he actually lost his color. He gets really black in the mornings and at night. And then my Crebensis project where I'm trying to get a melanistic, a black Crebensis. So I've spawned this. This is the albino right here. And then there's the leucistic back there. And then by crossbreeding those back to each other, and then with the regulars, I actually pulled out these platinums. So now I'm trying to get these platinum males to cross with these females. This is one eye, so we'll call her Cyclops. This is a leucistic. And then there's the albino. So now I got kind of the project going here, and there's clown plecos in here too. So, and they're just kind of sitting and getting ready to breed hopefully soon. Oh, there's the leopard frog. So you can see the back end of that one. So pretty exciting. It's been about a 2-year grow out. Now I was expecting about another 6 to 9 months until they were going to be ready to spawn, but they surprised me a little bit. I think good food, lots of rapashi and soft water helped. Lots of current, so I have the current going in there. I think that all helped as far as accelerating. Now they're going to spawn when they're ready, but I think I put them in the right conditions for that. So we'll see how that goes. And then in here is the Alican tiger. So I don't know if I can see any. Oh, there's one behind the sponge filter back there. See his tail. So there's 9 of those in here. And then these guys are another project. So this is the Lucipinus right here. So I don't know, those are probably another year out. And then in here is the Petricola, which should be close. I'm kind of shocked they haven't bred yet. So Synodontis Petricola. Alright guys, so I just wanted to kind of go over everything quickly in here and give you a quick overview. And then I just want to talk about the patience part. So if you want to have a fish room, you have to get multiple projects going, because you know, like the Discus right now, probably my fault, the water just wasn't right, so we've changed the water up, so they should be ready to go soon. But by having the black rams and the L134 Plecos and even like the Simulus Africans, I have other stuff going, so I don't get discouraged if something doesn't happen right away. So patience, but not just patience. When it happens, you have to be prepared. So being prepared is important. So if you're interested in my live foods and microfoods, watch this video here. It'll break down exactly how I keep my live foods, how I maintain them, and the different live foods I keep on hand and why I keep them on hand. All right guys, thanks a lot. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.